over, then it started again. The planet's alive, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going on now. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. Your light is young, we're out and free. If you can, try to catch me. We're in a
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
So. I always love it when it starts off and the system totally loses it. So let's just be realistic. Let's talk about what's going on. If you were hanging out right away, you kind of saw some sound dropped off. You saw some video stuff that you probably shouldn't have seen. But man, is that always fun on how that works. The USB decided to say, hey, I'm no longer going to be part of your family, so we're going to ditch out. So that's what happened right there. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of fun, taking a listen and a view of all that fun stuff. So there you go. So USB goes droppy, and we go outy, because we're no longer having any kind of service coming off of the board. So that's what happened there. Anyways, that's a great way to start off your morning. And how are you? That's important. That's always important to talk about. We're broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we're hanging out over there.
Radio.
So we're hanging out with our friends, our colleagues, los amigos at radiobig.fm, because they do what they do over there. And that's always a fun time as things are going on for sure. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about the things that you want to talk about, the things that you want to see, and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's start talking about what is going to be on the video on demand services over this lovely weekend. So let's do that right away. According to what is trending, the new to Amazon Prime will be Don John. New to Disney Plus will be Rookie of the Year and Trumbolina. New to HBO Max was Dune. New to Hulu is Gaia. And then, of course, new to Netflix is New Big Mouth and Maya and the Tree. So I guess there's a lot of stuff going on right there. So let me kind of tell you how the layout of the land goes. It goes something like this. We talk about safety in the news and safety and all that kind of fun stuff. If you might have noticed, I wasn't here yesterday, got tied up. I heard that there was too many people safety connecting out there. So there was too many connecting people into safety. So I had a high level of fear. Okay, not really. That really wasn't part of the case whatsoever. I was hung up because I had a doctor's appointment that I could not get out of, and I was told that if I missed it, that they would not be able to take me in for about a couple of months. So I was like, what to do? It was supposed to run a lot shorter than what it did, so that's why I wasn't here. That's the reality and the truth of the matter. So there you go. Those are the things that are happening inside of that side of the world. So anyways, let me get you to my friends at Feature Story of the News, because I think that that's going to be important for what we got going on this lovely morning. So let's get that moving and grooving right now. Oh, before we get that moving and grooving, it is Freeform Friday. So it's whatever you want to do. If you want to call in, you're more than welcome on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. We'll get you populated into the system, get you moving, grooving, and all that other fun stuff on getting you through there. So just a little FYI sequence of events there, because that's what's going to be important. So callinradio.com, messaging, video calling, and anything else, normal calling, all available right there, just directly off your browser. Think about it in that fashion. Anyways, feature story news right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Hire. At least 15 people have been killed in an explosion at a Russian gunpowder factory. One person has been taken to hospital with burns covering most of his body. Another is unaccounted for. Julia Chapman has the latest.
Russia's interim emergencies minister has been sent to the scene in the Ryazan region, about 300 kilometers from Moscow. Some 170 firefighters have been involved in getting the fire under control. 17 people were working in the factory at the time of the explosion. The workshop was reportedly involved in the production and storage of explosives, as well as the disposal of ammunition. A source quoted by state news agency TASS said the incident was caused by a failure to follow correct technical procedures. An investigation is underway into the cause. Julia Chapman, Moscow.
More than 100 people have now died due to floods in India. Rescue operations are continuing, but the death toll is expected to mount. Singapore will extend its COVID-19 restrictions for another month after the city-state reported 18 new deaths from the disease on Wednesday. That's its highest number of the pandemic. Buckingham Palace has confirmed the Queen spent Wednesday night in hospital. A statement says the monarch, who's 95, underwent preliminary investigations after doctors had advised her to call off a trip to Northern Ireland to rest. She returned to Windsor Castle on Thursday and is said to be in good spirits and carrying out some work. Royal commentator Phil Dampier says the Queen will be hoping to return to public engagement soon.
It's just yet another reminder, I think, that, she's 95. We had that story the other day, a walking stick that she's using. We just all hope that she's in fine fettle for the COP26 next month. And, of course, most importantly of all for us royal watchers, the Platinum Jubilee next year when she celebrates 70 years on the throne.
The actor Alec Baldwin has discharged a prop gun whilst on a set in New Mexico, fatally shooting the film's director of photography and injuring the director. The incident took place at the Bonanza Creek Ranch outside of Santa Fe, where the American film star is filming the western Rust. Law enforcement says they are investigating. Tony Waterman has more details.
The prop gun was fired during a scene in the movie, leaving 42-year-old cinematographer Helena Hutchins dead. The movie's director, Joel Souza, who was also injured, remains in the hospital. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office said both were shot when a prop gun was discharged by Alec Baldwin. The American actor was questioned, but no charges have been filed. Detectives say they are now investigating how and what type of projectile was discharged. Hutchins was described as a brilliant talent by director Adam Egypt Mortimer, who worked with her on the 2020 movie Arch Enemy. And in 2019, she was named a rising star by American Cinematographer magazine. Tony Waterman, Austin, Texas.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Farming groups in Britain are warning that a newly struck trade deal with New Zealand could damage the viability of many of the country's agricultural producers. The British government is heralding the trade pact with Wellington, saying it will cut red tape and end tariffs on exports, plus open up trade with the wider Indo-Pacific region. But Britain's National Farming Union is warning the agreement will open the floodgates to New Zealand lamb and other agricultural products with little benefit in return.
We thought that the whole Brexit thing has given us a sort of golden opportunity to squeeze a good deal out of you guys.
Bill Bennett is a business journalist in Auckland and says the government in New Zealand saw opportunity in Britain's need for new trade agreements.
We have a nation here of about 5 million people. We grow food for somewhere between 40 and 50 million people. Until now, most of that surplus has gone to China, and we get a good deal from China. We sell something like $11 billion a year of produce to China, and it's mainly agricultural produce. We thought this was a golden opportunity to get a better deal than we might otherwise have had.
One Welsh opposition party leader called the deal a hammer blow for the farming industry. But British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says it will have benefits that go beyond just the farming sector. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
A reminder again of our top stories. At least 15 people have been killed in an explosion at a Russian gunpowder factory. More than 100 people have died due to floods in India. Rescue operations are continuing, but the death toll is expected to mount. Buckingham Palace has confirmed the Queen spent Wednesday night in hospital. A statement says the monarch, who's 95, underwent preliminary investigations. And the actor Alec Baldwin has discharged a prop gun whilst on a set in New Mexico, fatally shooting the film's director of photography and injuring the director. News, I'm Benji Hire in London.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You know how sometimes there's plans for everything out there? You have plans of going back to the gym. You have plans on eating right. You have plans on doing a diet. You know, all those things. What if I told you that you can make a plan to stop male pattern baldness? And let me tell you how you can start this journey off right now with my friends at Keeps. All you have to do is go to the website keeps.com, keeps.com/safety to receive your first month free of treatment. Keep in mind, 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time that they are 35. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. There are 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. Keeps offers them both. So all you need to do is go to keeps.com/safety to find out more and to get your plan rolling. Now keep this in mind. For a limited time, get your first month free and claim your offer at KEEPS. That's keeps.com/safety. KEEPS.com/safety.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, if you believe in magic, and I know you do. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Friday. So let's talk about how lovely it actually is. That's for sure. Anyway, so what is going on? I have been so lost inside of the gigs here, of taking a look around of what is happening inside of this lovely world of ours as I am taking a look. By the way, just for the sake of purposes of people that are still messaging, because I'm seeing it right now at the 866-930-SFM1, I appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. But just letting you know, in a little bit, it will no longer be there. So just so you're fully aware of that. So if you're trying to reach out over there, you're not going to get anything out of me because it will be gone. It'll be gone. We definitely went fully into callinradio.com. That's just callinradio.com. So just for the info to do so. Anyways. So let's start talking. Let's start rolling. Let's start moving and talking about what exactly is happening inside of the world of the news. Big John, the latest let's see if we can do this. The latest triceptor skeleton unearthed sold for about $7.74 million to a U.S. collector at Paris. A U.S. collector at a Paris auction yesterday. The final price of the 26-foot dinosaur was a record for Europe. The auction house tells Reuters a Big John roamed the earth about 66 million years ago. His bones were discovered in South Dakota in 2014. So hold on. In 2014, it was discovered in South Dakota. It ended up going all the way to Paris Auction House, or did Paris Auction House say, it's in South Dakota, we're going to keep it there, then we're going to get it to you?
Duh.
And how the hell do you move that thing? That's the other portion that I would like to know. Because how is it going to get from point A to point B to point 0? I don't know. Good question, I might think. Anyways, the FDA has authorized a booster shot for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines. The agency has also approved a mix and match approach to the booster for those who are eligible to receive one, meaning that individuals can get a booster that is different than the original dose. As of Wednesday, 57.1% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated against COVID-19. So COVID-19. There you go. The former Minneapolis police officer who fatally shot a woman while responding to a 911 call back in 2017 has resentenced this week for 4 years, 9 months in prison. Mohab Noor was originally sentenced for 12.5 years in prison for shooting and killing Justin Ruskrix last month in Minnesota. Supreme Court threw out Nord's third-degree murder conviction over the lack of sufficient evidence to sustain the conviction. He was resentenced to a lesser charge, a second-degree manslaughter. His sentence was originally for 12.5 years, but I think I said that, so then we said it to say it again, to say it one more time because I didn't say it enough. Yeah, we got that. The FBI confirmed yesterday that the remains of the Florida park are those of missing 23-year-old Brian Laundrie. The agency said that the dental records were used to identify the bones and the remains. The remains, which were found alongside a backpack and a notebook belonging to Laundrie, were found in a Marshally Park where missing fugitive went for a walk after leaving his parents' home back on September the 13th. So hold on. So back in September the 13th, the man went for a walk. And of course, he was already a person of interest because that's what they said for a period of time, a person of interest. And all of a sudden, he was long gone. And all of a sudden, we ran into this issue where he had vanished off the face of the planet. So as we're taking a look at this now, I'm confused on what exactly we're saying. So we're going based on dental records. I guess I watched too many crime dramas to be able to say, okay, it's time to pull the trigger here. I'm just saying.
Duh.
Because I don't know. Is this really it? Is this the final countdown? Maybe that's something else to think about.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's continue going down the path here of the things that are going on inside of the world. So let's talk about it. Singapore has been added to the CDC list of very high-risk travel destinations. The ultra-modern city-state has moved up from level 3 to level 4, the agency's highest risk category regards of COVID-19. The news comes as Singapore has loosened restrictions and is now allowing people arriving from certain nations to apply for quarantine-free entry. So there you go. So here's my question. So let's start talking about this. Because of restrictions going down, oh, I love the green all of a sudden. Because of restrictions going down and everything that is happening, are you giving any thought to starting traveling abroad? Will you give any thought to traveling, period? Like, okay, so right now, if you're traveling within the U.S., how comfortable do you feel going from state to state? The other side of the equation becomes this automatically. How comfortable would you feel about going to a different country, traveling abroad at this particular moment? Is it something that you'd be interested in doing? I'm just asking the question because we have to ask those questions around here. If we didn't, we wouldn't be doing the right service for you. I mean, at what point do you sit back and say, okay, this is now time for us to be able to start traveling abroad? I have no problem with it whatsoever. I mean, do you feel comfortable doing it? Would you go to Singapore? I mean, there's certain countries you can't even get into yet. I mean, I think some of the restrictions on some of the areas you can't even get into, like, I think it's November, but don't hold me to it. Like, where would you feel comfortable if you were going to a different country at this particular moment in time that you'd be willing to do? Just something to think about. Anyways, Tuesday, science lessons about kids being forced to wear a mask. The CDC director, Rochelle Walensky, said that this week that kids, after kids get vaccinated, they should continue to wear a mask in public, especially in school. What is she basing the decision on? Here are the facts as we know them. Doctors and psychologists who have been studying the effects of mask wearing on kids note that the educational harms of mandatory masking policies, are much more firmly established than the possible benefits in stopping the spread of COVID-19 in schools. Now, of course, this is based on who wrote this. Also, the WHO specifically advises against masking kids age 5 and younger because in doing so, they would miss out on facial cues and social development. Most European countries don't require students to wear a mask, and they have been no major outbreaks in schools. Now, let's look at a number of things here. Over the course of the pandemic, 49,000 Americans under the age of 18 have died from the causes. According to the CDC, of those, 331 were COVID-related. Less than half as many have died from pneumonia. In 2019, more than 2,000 kids and teenagers died in car crashes in the U.S. About 1,000 kids died from drowning annually. Here's the big one. The fatality rate of those ages 5 to 9 for COVID-19 is less than 0.001%. 0.0001%. So here's the question. What's the good, what's the bad, and what's the ugly? What's the right thing to do? I mean, I don't know. This is going to be the ongoing answer and question to continue to have. Is it the right decision? Is it the wrong decision? If you start thinking, hey, this might not be the right decision for what I want to do, should you just go back and say, okay, I'm going to keep my kid at home? I'm just asking and doing homeschooling. And we talked about hub schooling as well not so long ago. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that can still be done. And I know that a lot of people are not going to love what I have to say in that particular regards.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so it's time to bring in some John Smalls to light up our life. So here we go with the Market Beat Minute.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, October 22nd, 2021. Equities held steady at the freshly set all-time highs on Thursday as the market gears up for the true peak of earnings season. While there have been a fair amount of earnings reports delivered, it pales in comparison to what the market will get over the next 2 weeks. Roughly 50% of the S&P 500 will report earnings for the third quarter and set the tone for trading over the next 2 to 3 months. So far, a higher number of S&P 500 companies than average have been beating their estimates, but that could quickly change. The real risk, however, is in the guidance, and far too many companies are lowering their target for earnings. Next week will also be an important week for economic data. Many economic reports will be out, but most important report of the month comes out next Friday. The monthly read of the income and spending includes the Fed's favorite tool for measuring consumer-level inflation, the PCE Price Index. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one and exactly what is going on inside of the world of the stock market, because, you know, it's important to cover those things. So here we go. Thursday session was the second in a row that brought mixed results for the stock market. The Dow fell about 6 points, but the Nasdaq rose about 94, and the S&P gained about 13. Positive economic data was released on Thursday as home sales rebounded in September, and Labor Department reported a new low for the first time unemployment claimants since the virus situation began. I love how all of a sudden it became the virus situation. You know what I'm saying here? So there you go. I'm glad we are talking about the situation. So let's continue talking. Onions are being recalled after more than 650 people across 37 states were infected with salmonella. The FDA and the CDC issued recalls this week of potentially contaminated onions from ProSource Inc. out of Haley, Idaho. So there you go. The company agreed to voluntarily recall all of the yellow, red, and white onions that were imported from Mexico between July the 1st and August the 27th out of the abundance of caution. An investigation into the outbreak is still ongoing. So there you go. I don't know. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about all of this stuff. And we talk about safety inside of this little world. So, of course, I am going to talk about that portion. What did you think was going to happen? I wasn't going to talk about it. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. Jobless claims dropped last week. Initial filings for unemployment benefits fell to 290,000, a drop from the prior week's revised total of 296,000, according to the Labor Department. Economists surveyed by the Dow Jones expected to see new claims edge up slightly around 300,000. About 2.5 million Americans remain on traditional unemployment benefits. So there you go. That's still what's going on inside of the world. So what do you think about this as we're talking? Does it make sense? Does it make the move in the groove as we're speaking about it? Or do you think something else as it comes up? I mean, I don't know. I never know what to think when we're talking about these things. Seriously, I really don't. Anyways, Royal Caribbean International is offering a new 274-night, 65-country cruise across the world called the Ultimate World Cruise. The voyage, set for 2023, is being billed as the world's longest. Are you ready for this? I hope you're sitting or laying down as I say this next thing. Tickets start at, and I want to give you the impression of the lower price here. Tickets start at the price of $60,999. I mean, why can't we just call it $61,000 at that particular point? 274 nights on a cruise, $61,000 starting off, 65 countries. We couldn't get it down to like $1,000 a week or something. I mean, come on, what are we talking here? So think about that, being on a boat for about 274 nights, going across the world, going to these different countries. I really hope that you like the people that you're surrounded by. And can you really put your life on hold for that kind of period of time? Because that's going to be the whole other question that one might have to ask themselves during that timeline of all the things that are going on. Think about that one for sure, because there's no way, ands, ifs, and buts about it if you're really thinking about it.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
There is a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the world of virtual private networks or VPNs. Let me tell you real quick about my favorite VPN service, NordVPN. I hear people say all the time that VPNs have the reputation of slowing down your internet speed, but not with NordVPN. It's because they are the fastest VPN in the world. I don't have to sacrifice internet speed for better security. With NordVPN, my traffic is routed through a secure encrypted tunnel, which protects my data and privacy. I can also have NordVPN on up to 6 devices, so all my devices are protected. I will tell you, I have used NordVPN throughout all of North America and have never ran into an issue with the service. And now, for an exclusive offer for you, get up to 73% off of a 2-year plan plus 4 months for free. Yeah, you heard me right there. 4 months for free. All you have to do to get this offer is go to nordvpn.com/safetyfm. That's nordvpn.com/safetyfm, or use code safetyfm at checkout. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee if NordVPN is not for you, so there's no risk whatsoever. It's the equivalent to buying a cup of coffee every month, a small price to pay for premium cybersecurity and access to vast amounts of entertainment. So go right now to nordvpn.com/safetyfm. That's nordvpn.com/safetyfm to get this special offer, or use the code safetyfm at checkout. Remember, 73% off for a 2-year plan plus 4 months for free.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Been killed in an explosion at a Russian gunpowder factory. More than 100 people have died due to floods in India. Rescue operations are continuing, but the death toll is expected to mount. Buckingham Palace confirms the Queen spent Wednesday night in hospital. A statement says the monarch, who's 95, underwent preliminary investigations. And the actor Alec Baldwin has discharged a prop gun whilst on a set in New Mexico, fatally shooting the film's director of photography and injuring the director.
Too much on the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets align, the stars burn bright, the sun goes down, we keep going on now. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. That is young.
Okay, there you go. That's some Tiger Run for you with Renegades. It is currently 34 minutes past the top of the hour, as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Friday, getting into the move and the groove of the things that we're doing. Yeah, I have to tell you, the Renegade stuff is pretty interesting. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, let's get that out of here. So there. We got a lot of stuff going on this lovely morning. We are talking. If you want a message in, you can do the chat boxies, hang out inside of there, or you can just go directly to callinradio.com. You can do that from any device that has a web browser, and that will get you moving and grooving inside of here. So it's kind of fun on how that ends up working, and we go and we move and we groove. A lot of stuff going on, so let's get into a little bit more detail here, because you already heard about this morning, so we want to talk about it some more. Get a load of this, as we've already talked about it, and you heard it on Feature Story. You heard it about on the headlines that we just played. But actor Alec Baldwin discharged what has been described as a prop firearm while working on the set of a movie, Rust, Thursday in New Mexico, accidentally killing the director of photography and injuring the movie's director. The director of photography, who died at the University of New Mexico Hospital, she was 42. Director Joel Sosa was taken to a nearby medical center where he was being treated for an unidentified injuries. Deadline is reporting that Baldwin was unaware of the type of ammunition in the gun. So far, no charges have been filed, and details of how the director of photography and the director have became victims of the prop weapon mishandling have not been revealed. Meanwhile, Baldwin actively gave a statement to law enforcement. He was spotted on a cell phone outside a Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department in tears and upset. This story is expected to send some shockwaves through the entertainment industry and will continue to develop over the coming days. The Screen Actors Guild has issued a statement committing to investigate the tragedy and work to prevent similar accidents from occurring in the future. Now, listen, I think that right now we're probably still too early in some of the stages in regards of some of the stuff of what was happening. But if you think about it and you go back a few years, you automatically have to think about The Crow. You know, the movie The Crow that came out, 3 decades ago almost at this point. The movie with Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. And there was a similar incident that occurred with a prop gun. And I'm talking about the prop gun while recording a scene. We're not sure yet what exactly was going on, but it was something that occurred on a movie set, fatally injuring the actor. So I don't know, a lot of stuff going on inside of that kind of makes the work environment a little scary and hairy all at the same time too, as we are talking this morning. So let's talk about some other things that are going on inside of the world. Do you want to talk about the swamp? Okay, good. Neither did I, so that makes that pretty simple. So let's continue talking. No winner for Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for a $108 million jackpot or a $75.7 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday night's Powerball drawing. Saturday's drawing will be for an $86 million jackpot or a $60.9 million cash payout. So there you go. If you're big into watching late night TV, you know, the entertainment shows like Fallon and Kimmel and Seth Meyers and James Gordon, don't worry about it tonight. It's a rerun. With the exception of Stephen Colbert, he has Andy McDowell and Lana Del Rey on tonight, just in case if you're curious about that stuff. You probably have some better things to do on your Friday anyways. Anyway, so coming to the conclusion that it's Friday, because that's always important, let's talk about some of the things that we typically do here on Fridays. Let's go look for it. Let's go find it. So you don't want to go into the weekend with all the pent-up aggravation of things going on. You don't want to go up with all the pent-up aggravation of not being too happy in this world. So let's do this. Let's put a 30-second clock on the screen. And I want you to take the next 30 seconds to scream and shout and let all this frustration out before we get into the weekend. That way we can start moving and grooving and get everything rolling before we get into, everything else we got going on for the rest of the weekend. So here you go. I'm going to get that countdown ready for you in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we'll call that time, and that is it. So hopefully you were able to get everything out of your system that was going on inside of there, because, you know how it goes from time to time. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world. So real quick, before I get too far, I don't want to forget this, because this is mostly one of the most important parts that we'll talk about at any given show on the Rated R Safety Show, any episode. But let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Not a joke, easy thing to do, or like some people like to say, easy peasy, or whatever the hell that is. So relatively easy, get that moving and grooving directly there for you, and we'll get you started into whatever the heck you need to do right away. So that's important. Very important stuff as we are talking on this lovely Friday. Real quick, I talked about this earlier this week, and I want to make sure that we still understand that there is a focus on this, and that it will not be changing anytime soon. But right now on Safety FM Plus, we have released our first ebook that we're talking about some things related to brainwaves, which will also take a dive into psychology. And you're starting to see us post a lot more things as of late that are dealing or interacting with psychology. And there is a reason to our madness. There is a method to everything that is going on. And don't worry, we haven't disappeared from the world of safety. What we are doing here is we want to make sure that we're bringing all of the information that's important about what is going on inside of the world of psychology, because it plays such a big factor into what we do day in and day out for the level of work that we do. So let's just be real. That's the portion right there. Anyway, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world here as we take a look at the world of news. Matter of fact, before I do that, I got a couple of things we could probably do real quick, because it is freeform. Let's get Johnny Smalls back in here and let him tell you about his Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Dennis. Andrew Hunt said, "Most people find change difficult to accept, sometimes for good reasons, sometimes because of plain old inertia." I love that. Thanks for the quote, Dennis. Let's break this down a little. He's right when he says most people find change difficult. That is very hard for many people. I think I accept change pretty well, as long as it's the change that makes sense to me. I've never been a fan of the whole do it because everybody else is doing it kind of change. But if there's a good reason to change, I'll be the first one to sign up for it. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
This minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. Living a long and healthy life has long been a focus for scientists, always looking for that supplement, diet, or a lifestyle change that will enhance and prolong our life. Here's one driver of longevity that doesn't get mentioned often: long-term loving relationships. In a nearly 80-year study, researchers found that the most important factor in a long, healthy life was having a close partner. Taking care of your body is important, but tending to your relationships is a form of self-care too. The study revealed that those close relationships, more than money or fame, keep people happy throughout their lives. Protecting from life's discontents, help to delay mental and physical decline, and are better predictors of long and happy lives than social class, IQ, or even genes. This minute was brought to you by Wellness Reset, where we always encourage you to find real ways to reset your wellness. For more information, please visit AlessaMorgan.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, and the Wellness Reset Minute all combined. right there in regards to what was going on. So I'm slightly confused. I should be motivated and I should be focused on my relationship all at the same time. And I have a question. If it's an 80-year-old study, how many doctors or scientists actually went back and forth in regards to that last study? Because I really want to know that. Because 80 years, that's a lifetime for sure. So how many times did you go through it? And we have to be talking about more than just one relationship because, nobody's relationship is going to last 80 years. Let's just be realistic.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's start talking real quick. Today's movies openings, if you're wanting to hang out at the movie theater, Dune, rated PG-13, has come out today, and the French Dispatch, R-rated comedy, is available also if you're looking for things that are going on in the movies. Anyways, no squidding word name out earlier. Online searches said that Squid Game costumes are vastly outpacing searches for other film and TV characters, according to the study conducted by the design bundles of costumes from the show account of 1/3 of the top 11 most popular costume searches in the U.S. That was crazy enough that they are now getting the sexy Squid Game costume is officially on the market, selling for about $100. The lingerie and clubwear retailer Yandy's Met Your Match Watchman costumes rips off the jumpsuit and the gun-toting guards the Squid Game wear. The all-in-one suit is slimmed down, the body-hugging proportions, and updated the hot pink, detailed including fingerless gloves, a holster belt garter, and a face mask printed with diamonds finished to look. And there you have it. The first time I've ever used the words sexy and squid in the same sentence in public at least. So there's something to think about. And $100 is a lot, but maybe you can make some kind of a deal, squid pro quo. I have to tell you, I currently still have not seen the show. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I've heard on how it's tracing number one and all that kind of fun stuff. And I know that people get excited about that I have to go watch it because it's number one. So, do you. I still have not seen it. I'm just sharing that information with you. Anyways, let's get into some news of the weird because it is that time to do so. It is Friday, 48 minutes past the top of the hour. A Wisconsin farmer grew a 2,520-pound pumpkin believed to be the heaviest grown in the U.S. this year, only to have it disqualified for the competition due to a crack. Mike Schmidt, Macon of Beckinsale said that he had been growing that giant pumpkin for years, but this year was the first time that one of his goods surpassed the 2,500 pounds, and it was disqualified from the competition due to a fingernail-sized crack in the vegetable exterior. The pumpkin could have earned Smith about $22,680 from the Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh Off in California, which offers a 9-pound prize to the winner. With the crack, by the time that it got to California, it would have been the size of a gorge. So there you go. I mean, I don't get it. A crack the size of a nail. Now, are we talking a fingernail or a nail? Because then if we're talking about a fingernail, totally different than talking about a nail, because a nail can be quite gigantic depending on what you do. Anyways, Queen Elizabeth II is Britain's longest lived and longest reigning monarch, but don't call her an oldie. The 95-year-old has politely declined the honor of being named the Oldie of the Year by the British magazine. Tuesday, the Oldie magazine published the Queen's response to the suggestion that she followed the footsteps of former recipients, including former Prime Minister John Mayer, not the singer, and actor Olivia de Havilland. A letter from the assistant private secretary reads, Her Majesty believes that you are as old as you feel, and such the Queen does not believe that she meets the relevant criteria to be able to accept and hopes that you will find a worthy recipient. The letter ended with saying, with Her Majesty's warmest best wishes. What was the great way to convince people that you are not an oldie? By writing a letter. So there you go. I'm not old. I write letters. I don't write things. I write love songs. All that kind of weird stuff. So just some things to think about as that comes about. So let's talk about Did You Know? Did you know Elon Musk is not only the richest person in the world, he is now worth as much as fellow billionaire Bill Gates and Warren Buffett combined. The 50-year-old Tesla SpaceX CEO is now worth $230 billion, according to Bloomberg billionaire index. Gates sits fourth place with $130 billion, and Buffett at number 10 with $102. But you have to ask, is he really happy? And of course, he tells you yes. I mean, why wouldn't you be happy? Maybe that's the other thing that somebody else should think about.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world. So I have to tell you this. We are starting to see some walkouts that are taking place because of mandates regulations. If you take a look around, GE yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, or we'll just say earlier this week because I don't want to mess up the date. GE had a pretty big walkout of people disagreeing with the vaccine mandate, and they decided to walk out. And there has been rumors circulating online that good old Netflix is about to have a walkout, but related to the Dave Chappelle show or special that was just recently released. So let's talk about the Dave Chappelle angle for just a little bit further. Dave Chappelle said that he is willing to sit down with Netflix employees who are offended by his LGBTQ plus jokes. The comedian rep told TMZ that he would be open to a dialogue if the employees actually reach out to him for a discussion. This contradicts that Ashley Marie Preston, the woman who initiated yesterday's walkout, stated that she claims to have invited Chappelle to talk with her and others from the LGBTQ plus community, but he was a no-show. So there you go. I don't know if you heard about it. I did not realize that it had already had taken place. I thought it was still in talks, but I guess it sounds like it happened yesterday. But I think it's interesting that he is willing to sit down with them and have the conversation. Anyways, you might have heard of this. Kate Beckinsale says that she's too smart to be an actress. In a recent chat with Howard Stern, Kate revealed that she has an impressive IQ of 152 and that her intelligence has been damaging to her career. Stern also wanted to know how it affects her dating life, especially when the man is not so smart. Kate said that she is willing to forgive a lot of things if the dude is funny. That explains a lot. We can probably we'll get into that at the Rated R not the Rated R Safety Show. We'll get into that about Jay Allen in the morning if you want to hang out and do that. Anyways, let's talk about the top 10. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got here? Top 10 drunkest counties in the U.S. I'm going to tell you this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got 1, 2. 15 out of 15 that are listed in the top counties, 13 of them, 13 are coming out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin has the drunkest counties in the U.S. courtesy of the 24/7 Wall Street. 24/7 Wall Street is calling them out, saying that. Anyways, it is 54 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me tell you about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2018, a pipe bomb is set at the home of George Soros. He would be the first of a long list of Democrats to receive such threatening packages. Soros has long been a target for conservatives. So there you go. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Rudy Rich turns 23. 21 Savage turns 29. Dylan Scott turns 31. Zach Hansen turns 36. And that's from Hanson, the band, the brothers. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, 46. Shaggy turns 53 today. Jeff Goldblum turns 69. Tony Roberts, 82. And Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future fame there, turns 83. So there you go. You can be on some lookout for some birthdays for today. Also, if you're looking for some reasons to celebrate today, I got some for you. National Make a Dog Day, National Nut Day, and National Color Day. So there you go. Some days that you can celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of this lovely world of ours, because it's always important. Here's some whack facts for you real quick. A good pitcher can make a baseball curve as much as 17.5 inches from a straight path. When a runner is content, when a runner is content, it purrs. Really? A runner? Are we sure it's not a road runner? I would think a road runner, not a runner. I don't know a lot of people that I've seen jogging that are purring. Maybe they're just not content. Researchers show that if you touch an item in a store, you're more likely to buy it. What if it's software that's not in a package? Anyways, in medieval times, the average person met about 100 people in their lifetime. The shark model used in film Jaw was named Bruce after Steven Spielberg's lawyer. The first archaeological evidence of soup dates back to 6000 BC. The main ingredients, hippopotamus. Oh, that sounds tasty. So there you go there. So a lot of stuff always going on inside of this place, of Lift Stays. So here, let's give you some scoops of BS before we get you out of here. The CDC says that the flu season has arrived and we should all get vaccinated. Another way to avoid the flu is by washing your hands after touching things where lots of hands have been, like doorknobs, grocery carts, and Travis Barker. It's just over a week until Halloween 2021, and that's one night of the year that I buy bags upon bags of chocolate treats, turn off the porch light, and act like no one's home. Despite the pandemic, millions of kids will go trick-or-treating this year, and not one of them will look through their bags afterwards and say, yes, a toothbrush. I just read that Dennis Rodman's father has 29 children with 16 different women. Who knew Rodman's father also played the NBA? Kourtney Kardashian and rock drummer Travis Barker are engaged. Who cares? Let me know when the honeymoon video's leaked. Okay, who said that?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, if you need a random joke for today, try this. If you're going to do something tonight, what you'll be sorry for tomorrow morning? Sleeping late. Is that it? What exactly are you going to sleep late because you're sorry about it? Let me know. If you need a phone starter, try this. What quote of saying do people spout that is likely inaccurate? Love means never having to say, I am sorry. Ask and I shall be given. Life is 10% of what happens to us, 90% on how we react. I mean, come on. What is the saying that's inaccurate? If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. Question: 9% of people who quit their jobs because their boss was a monster describe the boss as this scary movie monster. Which one? Beetlejuice. So there you go. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on RadioBig.fm and SafetyFM.com. If you want to come out and hang out with us, you're more than welcome on doing so. I'm going over to RadioBig.fm over the next couple hours doing some stuff there. You can always hang out here at Safety FM as well. There's always things going on here. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen to what we have going on. If I could leave you with a thought, I would love to leave you with this one. Who is the happier man? He who has braved the storm of life and lived, or he who has stayed securely on shore and merely existed? Think about that. Anyways, I'm going to try to be here next week, but I got a lot of things going on. So if you don't see me, I will try to see you later on. Don't ever feel right about telling you when I'm not going to be here, or not telling you, better saying, because I always think that we have that relationship where you need to know. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am.
Duh.
Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.